I am Savvy Mike, and this is Savvy Reviews. And well, this is my official start to reviewing the series A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, basically a spin-off show from the world of Game of Thrones. And it doesn't star people I know, and I didn't look up their names, I'm sorry. Look, I gotta do this quick because J. Cole drops in about 2 hours, so I can't make this long at all. I'm gonna come to you, give me my quick review of episode 1, 2, and 3. Don't know the titles of them, but I will say this much: I am very much so enjoying A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms with Sir Duncan the Tall. Basically, in the first episode, you get his origin story, not of where he came before he was a knight. You kind of find that out throughout the next 3 episodes, but more so just about where he was before he started to go on this journey that he's about to go on now. And at first, he was a squire to another man who was a knight. Old man end up passing away, and while the relationship looked abusive in the first episode, in the second episode it looks like he really did love this guy Duncan, and that he really did treat him like a son or family that he never had. So, basically a father figure to our main character, Sir Duncan the Tall. He ends up losing it, and unfortunately the knight that he was a squire to before he passed, he wasn't really a knight to any kingdom. So in order for him to participate in this tournament where all these knights are fighting, and he wants to basically show he's worthy of being a knight and prove to his fallen father figure, that his sir, that he's one of him, and his training then go to waste. Unfortunately, he needs to have somebody's blessing to say, no, this is actually a knight. He's actually a sir of this, that, and the third. So he needs a blessing from a kingdom, basically. And then in the second episode is when the Targaryens pull up. Now, Sir Duncan the Tall, he finds some courtship with one of the knights of the Targaryens. He finds out that he became a knight not through blood or anything of that nature, but through grind and hard work. That's how he kind of explains it at first. And so he goes up to the king, and he's like, hey, look, I just need your blessing so I can compete in this thing. Do you know my sir, my knight? Because he did tell me stories about how he worked with you guys and blah, blah, blah. And so he says, yeah, I remember him, not fondly, but I remember him. He wasn't a bad person. And so this Targaryen king guy, he ends up blessing him with the fact that, look, he can fight. You're a knight. I'll give you my blessing. You can go and do the little tourney, right? So, by the way, he runs into this kid named Egg. Kid says he's a foster or he's abandoned, but in the third episode, we find out what we kind of already knew when it was being hinted towards in the second episode, that Egg is indeed a Targaryen who cut his hair off. That's why he's bald. He's supposed to have the white hair, but he doesn't. And the prince right here, this guy right here, that's his brother. And so his brother pulls up in the third episode, and they're doing a bunch of jousting, really fun and exciting stuff happening. But his brother is all about chaos, all about basically being violent and aggressive. And so when it's his time to fight, he literally kills a horse just for the fun of it. Starts a riot, starts, mayhem, and he really doesn't care. And I forgot to mention Sir Duncan the Tall. He needs his shield repainted so he can have a emblem that basically symbolizes where he comes from and who he is. He decides to put a tree on it, and so he runs into this nice lady who is an actor that does the acting thing and whatnot. So he runs into her, asks her, she does it, has a little crush on her. That's pretty cool. But I brung her up to say, in the third episode, she's basically doing a play of a dragon falling, and the Targaryens don't play about dragons falling, especially this crazy ass prince. He doesn't give a look. The Game of Thrones, sometimes I felt like I was watching a whimsical Lord of the Rings show, and then happens that reminds you this is Game of Thrones. So I did like that. I did like the balance of it all. It's like, nope, you're still watching something that's from the world of Westeros. Like, this isn't sweet at all. and like I said, Prince pulls up and basically lets you know that. But either way, in the final scene of the third episode, he watches the play, sees her kill the dragon. Of course it's fake, but he doesn't care. He doesn't like that thing being propagandized. So he goes to basically up, and he starts messing with her and he breaks her finger. Like I said, Sir Duncan the Tall, he got a little crush on her, and the bald kid saw it all going down and went to Duncan like, hey, he's about to fuck her up. And so Duncan ends up coming through, give the prince a little two-piece, hits him pretty hard too, and then the guards grab him and he's like, look, you broke my tooth, now I'm about to break off in front of yours and you're gonna do it for this whore. That's basically what the prince says. Like I said, the prince is on some crazy, he's a savage, he doesn't give a fuck. And so he's getting ready to do that, and then that's when Egg runs in and like, no, because if you do it, I'm gonna get my father on your ass. And they're like, where your hair at, little nigga? And he goes, you know who I am, brother. And they're like, and we're all supposed to be shocked, I guess. But like I said, they were kind of foreshadowing this in the first few episodes. So it was like, you kind of figured that Buddy was probably a Targaryen because he was trying to do everything to hide from him anytime he knew somebody would notice him. So he kind of reveals that. Duncan finds out. Everybody looks in shock and awe. And then that's when we hit credits. And I was like, oh, we start rolling. And then we just end. Hey, it is what it is. Look, I'm looking forward to the 4th episode. Episode 3 was definitely fire. Episode 2 was fire as well. And I enjoy episode 1. Fire as well. All 3 first episodes of A Night of Seven Kingdoms gets fires from me. While it is taking a little while to get where we're going. And it's only 30-minute episodes. So, you know, I guess this is just going to end with the tournament. So we're going to just stay in this one spot forever, I assume. Because there's not much you could really do in 30 minutes. So we'll see. We'll see where this goes. But I assume we're going to get a fight in the next episode between the prince and Sir Duncan the Tall. Maybe that'll be the compromise that gets laid out for everybody. We'll see. Either way, like I said, I really enjoyed this. Can't wait to see what the next episode is about. Definitely will be here Monday or Sunday to talk about it. We'll see. It premieres on Sunday, so either way, I'm locked in on this one. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Look, Wonder Man and Pluribus are coming. Don't worry. They're coming. Not pause, but for Wonder Man, I guess. Not Carol. It's coming, okay? Don't worry. Peace.